Okay, I'm launching. You might want to back up a couple steps. Okay, land. I'll get out of the way. Oh shit. Slow down, man. Holy crap.
Yeah, I gotta try and maybe get a little lower on your base turn or something.
Isn't it always fabulous when you forget that the mic is on and then you trip over your chair when you're not at the start? Okay, I'm AC. It's Wednesday, so it's time to be in the Dank RC workshop. And unfortunately, or fortunately, we're going to talk about the Flerken a little bit. It's still alive. And hi, Robert. I said hi on the chat, but I'm pretty sure you're here. And I'm guessing that one or two, possibly, of my flying friends are here. We were just discussing flying, Andy and Kevin, tomorrow after work. So, yes, I will plan on leaving work at 4 or before, I hope. Anyway, so let's talk about this plane. I ran AutoTune successfully twice on it, and I realized that I need to watch Mark Hoffman's video like 25 more times to gain some of his, just like soak in all the knowledge that he spewed out in like 10 minutes of tuning. When I was up in the air, I realized, first of all, I don't have any in-flight tuning set up at this time, and I need to rectify that. That's a project I'd like to work on, possibly in this Wednesday workshop session. Not this one, but in a one. Anyway, so the plane flies great, pretty much. It flies very efficiently compared to, let's say, the Arrows. I think that has to do with the bigger motor and the bigger prop, of course. Higher powered, everything is just higher power. It's 4S. It's got a big ESC 50 amp. It's got a 2216 1250 kV motor and a 9x6 prop. So it's got a lot more oomph than that overpropped 3D printed thing back there. Not 3D printed really, but anyway, never mind. So the thing I was going to do is put up a video of me doing the auto tune to show how like stupid I am. Not really stupid, but okay. So I think I did some of the things like right, but I don't think I did it for long enough, and I certainly didn't do anything to tune out the pitch oscillations, which are really bad when you're in a navigation mode. So that is something I'm going to have to deal with. So there's the auto-tune video, which I have queued up. I did excuse me, you know, this is going to be the second flight, isn't it, that I had queued up, so that's probably not good. Okay, so what happened was I flew 2 flights, and then I discovered something about the airframe, and I discontinued flying after that. And we'll talk about the thing I discovered in a minute. But I did 2 flights, and one of them I forgot to turn on the power play DVR, so I only have Fat Shark DVR. And let me tell you, the difference between a Fat Shark DVR and a power play DVR is considerable when you're sitting there at the video editing screen or console, for example. It's another world. Even though it's still DVR, I'm not gonna. It's still DVR no matter what. So, okay. So I do have the 3 camera footage. We won't be going into that, but I love the rear-facing camera. I just got to say, I love the rear-facing camera. And Robert, you'll be happy to know that the side view of this just sucks. And it sucks because of the vibration. So maybe I can make it better. So there's definitely jello in the footage. You know, it's typical of my planes. I need to balance the prop. It's a big enough prop. It needs to be balanced. You know, if I knew what I was doing, like Andrew Newton, how he feels the vibrations, and yeah, I can't do that yet. I'm not that finely tuned of a human even though I fly my planes over and over and over, I still don't. I just let the vibrations shake them up. I don't know. I need to get rid of the vibrations at some point, though. I need to do the work to get rid of some of the vibrations, especially if I'm going to have 3 or more HD, and I use the term loosely, cameras. Okay, so I ran AutoTune, and it significantly improved the mushiness of the controlling when you're in acro mode. Significantly improved the mushiness. And what and one of the other things I realized reviewing the footage of flights is that one of the things I realized is that I never have gone into manual mode again. I always forget to fly the plane in manual mode, especially on the maiden. Get it up in the air. Okay, I trust in AutoLaunch. All hail to AutoLaunch. Trust me, that's definitely my way. I chucked this plane AutoLaunch on its first try. There's no doubt about it. I'm not one of these, I'm going to do manual mode. AutoLaunch all the way. But what I should do is once it's up in the air, and let me tell you, this thing gets up in the air quick. I should put it in manual mode early on and see how it flies and see. Anyway, so what's the chat say? Yes, it's a good little unit. That power play is a good little unit. And Andy says, chuck it. Yes, chuck it. And that's what we do. That's what I did with Kevin's Optera too. I chucked it. I trust. All hail to AutoLaunch. I mean, seriously. So let's talk about this airframe. There's some serious flaws that are coming apparent after we've had now 5 flights with this plane. And again, I did some crazy maneuvers let's put it that way, and to tune it, to try to run the auto tune, and did rolls and just jerked it around. And what's happened here is that it's a flaw in the way I built it. I taped all these pieces all the way, and so they're taped all the way down the side to the part, and I shouldn't have done that. I should have left these sides barren of tape, at least up to this point. And then when I glued the wing on, the wing would have glued to the paper instead of the taped paper. And that's still probably not great. The other thing I'm thinking of refining my design, not my design, but another mod to Bixler's design. My design, yeah, no way. I can barely, no. A mod to Bixler's design is to put a tab on this piece, like a typical flight test tab, and then have a tab slot in the side piece here. Because what's happened here, maybe we should go to this camera. Okay, there we go. So, here we go. This glue is kind of holding, well, here it's split from the tape, and here it's pulling on the tape. It's pulling on the tape, which is glued to the tape to the paper. So the whole paper part is coming out, and we have this flex, a lot of flex. Let me see if you can see the end. This is how much it's flexing. And you can see it in the video too. Well, actually, you can see the other wing flexing on the side video, but you can see the wing flexing in the rear video too. And so I'm going to repair that today. That's part of the workshop repair. We're going to repair that. I'm going to do the same repair on the other side, even though it's not really doing that yet. It will, though. And I'm thinking, well, maybe I won't until it starts doing it. We'll inspect, but we're definitely going to pump more glue in here, because right in here, I think you can see that I can get this skewer down in there. So we're going to definitely put some more glue there. On this side, we're going to cut, camera focus. We're going to cut along here the paper. And so we're going to let it flex out, and then I'm going to pump glue and hot glue in there, and then I'm going to push it up and let the whole thing kind of hopefully glue together. So that's what we're going to do there. And then we'll try to see if we'll measure the dihedral on each side and see if I've thrown it out of whack. And Why the plane first, fly the computer sec? Wait. Why the plane first, fly the computer second? Oh, fly the plane. Fly the plane first, computer second. The computer will take away anything that's bad with the plane. Yes, I agree with that. So that's what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to correct my methods, but when I'm in the moment, like the first launch, I mean, you can see my chest heaving because I had the GoPro cam on me flying the plane. And I go to the chair and I'm like, yeah. So I've got to get more calm, even though I spend 6 months trying to figure out a plane and put $300 or $400 into it. And, you know, $300 maybe. I don't know. Once all is said and done, half of it was 10% of it was wasted on cameras and switcher and Kate wiring and stuff that I didn't even use that's in there. Okay, never mind that. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. So we'll fix that. The other repair that has to be done is, it's pretty minor, but the antenna here. Oh, I had the wrong camera on, of course. The antenna here this is a belly lander, of course, and I guess the antenna's catching the ground. All my landings have been pretty good, all 5 landings. Let me see if I can get that centered in the screen. Right there, you can see that the glue is kind of pushed off. I've straightened it out from where it was. It dented back towards the back of the plane here. But you can see the belly landing stress. Maybe you can see in this camera view if it would focus. No, it's not going to focus. I can't wait to get a new kind of camera over here somewhere. There's kind of stress bends in the foam from the belly landing. And, well, that's going to happen. But I've tried. All the landings have been pretty soft. They've been pretty soft. So, yes, Robert, I agree with what you're saying. I need to fly the plane, get it up in the air. I'm sorry, I don't care what anybody says. I'm going to auto launch the plane. That's it. I have manual launching planes, and they're a pain in the butt. I built a bungee launcher, so I didn't have to launch the damn things at one point in my life. So I got hooks on the bottom of 3 or 4 planes. But I should, once I get to the top of the climb, get sat down in my chair, flip that sucker into manual, and see how it flies, see how it's got a trim. Now, one thing I do not trust in, I'm going to go on a tangent. It's time for the Wednesday workshop tangent, or at least tangent number 1, is the one thing I do not trust in is the continuously trimmed servos. And until I fly it myself and see how it goes on a plane that I'm willing to test it on, which will probably be the FT Arrow once I put the new iNav on that one. Because what we had Kevin's plane set that way. And I don't know if his trims were off or something wasn't centered or something happened. Like maybe his endpoints weren't right or his center point wasn't right in his radio. But the plane continuously trimmed until it was in a condition of turning. Now, Kevin was flying the plane. I wasn't flying the plane at that time. And that was one of the more or less controlled crashes. Not more or less one of, it was, I think, the only controlled crash. Every time we've flown it, it's landed except for when it hasn't launched properly. Except for this one time, it was like a controlled high speed, but it didn't break too much. So when I flew it after that or before that, I don't know. I think it was after that. After he flew it, I flew it that day, his Optera, and I turned off, we plugged it into the Professor and turned off continuously trimmed servos. So, and that was iNav 5.0. So, I don't trust in that like I trust in AutoLaunch. Because I've been running AutoLaunch since 2.2.1, and that Arrow is still on 2.2.1, and it is a dream to launch just about every time. The only time I've crashed it once on launch, and it's because I gave it a horrible throw. It was basically almost over 90 degrees. It was just me. It was all me. It just didn't have enough power to overcome. But usually, no matter how I chuck it, this way, that way, you get those elevons, man, that thing just goes whoop, straightens up, and off it goes. And this thing too, I mean, it kind of does. I suspect that when I put it in manual mode, it's going to go bank to the right. It's going to bank to the right, and I'm going to have to trim something. So I have both the, oh good, I have the, I've been talking into this camera, I'm glad it's on. That's how I have the, that's the amount of, what is it called? Reflex, I guess you'd call it. And the CG is right on the Josh Bixler specification point CG. And when I, after putting the battery in and the couple wheel weights in front and these cameras, sucker is actually the most perfectly balanced plane I've ever built. Of all the planes that have a specified CG, this one turns out to be the closest. We'll see what happens after I pump a bunch of glue in over here. But because all that glue is going to be behind the CG point. So there goes that perfect. I just want to state for the record that at this moment in time, for the first 5 flights that, you know, did this to it, the CG, right on. Okay. What else do I have to say about it? Let's see, what does Robert say here? Just so excited to get, I was so excited that it launched. I mean, I'm a kid when it comes to these things. I'll admit it. It's like you put so much into it, and I mean, it's not something you bought from the store and got out of the box and turned it on and it works or it doesn't work. It's something that you thought out and you spent a lot of time on, and you got pissed off here and there and you had some joyous moments too, and then you get to the end and you build it all and it's all done and everything's supposed to be working right. You finally figured out all the stuff you needed to figure out to get it to work the way you want it to work, and then you got to try it for the first time. And yeah, it's pretty exciting, and I'm like a kid. And that was the same with this spear. I had the same kind of experience with that. In fact, that was my first, well, I don't know which one was my first. I don't know. There's so many, but no, so many, like 6 or 7, something. That's not that many. But when I took the, you know, I modified that from the original Bixler design too, right from my first build, because I was about to build it, cutting out all the pieces, and I was looking at some of the pieces, and I was like, oh, I don't like the way it is. So, you know, I spent a lot of time. Then you stop, and it takes, like me, because I don't have the ability to just spend a whole weekend on something. I'm not at that point in my life. I can't do that. So I have to, you know, parse out my time, and it takes months for me, because that's just my life. So anyway, so what else? That's it. So let's fix it, and then we'll look at the tuning video so you can see. Okay, so well, I guess I'll wait to talk about the tuning, or I can chat about the tuning while I'm doing this, but. Kevin said controlled crash is right. So that's what it was. It was a controlled crash. Oh, I didn't finish talking about the Aptera. So we turned off the continuously trimmed servos. Maybe I did finish talking about it, but we turned it off and it flew fine after that. And then it flew fine after that again when I launched it again the next time we flew, right, Kevin? And then we had a wing displacement issue after that. And the thing about the Aptera is, and I think Kevin is going to do it now. He's building some kind of modification to screw the wings on, I believe. I would either just tape them on or something, because if you know the Aptera, it has click-on wings, which is great when you do crash because the wings come off and they don't get damaged. The problem is if you're going to chuck it to launch it, and after you crashed like 10 times, and that Aptera has seen a life, man, it's been places. You know, the clips don't work as good anymore. They just don't. You got to tape those wings on or glue them or something. Okay. So, glue is hot, I hope. Oh, I didn't. I better go find another glue stick. That one's getting short. I think what we'll do is put this camera on here for now, and then I'm going to show you, or just cut. Okay, so this is the offending wing here, and it really has a flex. So I'm gonna just see how it kind of cuts through there. You know what? I'm gonna put a brand new fresh blade in here. We're gonna put a brand new fresh blade in because I usually talk about the news. What is the news? Well, there's no news. I talked about flying the Flerken. I think we flew the Aptera that same day as the maiden of, I can't remember now. It all fades into one glorious flying day sometimes. I love reviewing my footage. I'm going to babble for a second. I love reviewing footage. It's just like, oh, that was so nice. Okay. See, it's like, I don't know how to, it's not cutting like I thought it would. Maybe I need to give it a little bit more. Okay, let's go into this, back to this camera here. Okay. We're going to cut this. And I'm going to see, I want the paper to separate a little bit more, actually, is what I want. I want to be able to get glue in between the paper that's starting to separate and the foam. Yeah, there I go. I got it. Okay, so I hope I'm not doing more damage than... Okay, so we're just going to cut in there so that the glue can get behind the paper. That's the idea. I want glue in behind the paper. Almost want to flip up. I almost want to, this whole bit of paper is like separated. Look at that. I'm going to slice it this way too. And I'm going to flip this whole bit up. Because I want to get glue in. I guess we got to do this more here. I'm going to go all the way to almost to where I did this line right there, where the original Bixler cut is supposed to be. Yeah, and then here the glue is split. So starting about right here, the glue is split. And not the paper. So we're going to split the paper up to there, and then I'm going to cut this paper right here, and then I'm going to try to flip this whole bit up like that. There we go, like that. Does that make sense? Now the question is how much do I got to do it back here? And the answer is quite a bit. "10 times. What did I say 10 times? I don't know what. Anyway, that Aptera, if I forgot to mention that Aptera is like one of the most sleek and beautiful flying airframes. I mean, I know I say it every time we talk about the Obtera, but the Obtera has the most glide of any Delta wing that I've seen, even more than the AR wing. Okay, I'm going to see if this is going to separate like I want it to. I don't think so. Oh, I need to do it more. Okay. Okay, now, do I have the camera in the right spot? Not really. I'm trying to get down here. Yeah, that's where I'm going, right there. So the idea is we're splitting the paper and to about there, because right there the paper is stuck and not how much. It really only goes to about here, I think. So we're going to then cut a line. Oh, you can see it. You can see it's right to about here. We're going to go to about here. And we're just trying to cut through the tape and the paper. And then we're going to peel that sucker up. Now, I don't think I said my usual disclaimer, especially when it comes to the auto-tune part, but not that anybody here who's watching doesn't already know this. But don't do what I do. I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, this is not like a lesson. Okay, so there's quite a gap. So that's what I'm hoping for, because I want to get a lot of glue in there so that I can get the edge of the foam to glue to the foam that's down there. And I wish I could get more of this out down here. But that's not going to... Oh, maybe I should try. Sorry, that's going to take more time, but I should try to get some of this piece that's kind of in the middle doing nothing. It's not doing anything anymore. I need to like get it out with something like thin bladed screwdriver. The UARTs. It's time to get out the UARTs and see if they can help me get this thing out. Or maybe I can just slice it up and push it down with the razor blade. It's gotta go. Or maybe the hot glue will just melt it all in together, because it's basically all hot glue and a little bit of paper. All right, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna open this up a little bit more so we can make sure that we can get some glue in there. Just make sure we can get it all in there. Okay, I'm ready. I'm ready to spooge some glue on there. And then I'm going to just push the paper back down on top of it. Oh no, I'm going to wait because I need to have some pieces ready. Yes, they stay in the ground effect. That's another thing. Not only do they glide forever, but then they get in ground effect, and then they glide for another forever. They break the laws of physics, like infinity, a double infinity of gliding. It's amazing. And a 2-meter one, oh, dude, you have two. So you guys have the cherished Obteras, because Kevin's got like 2 or possibly 3 complete airframes. One that has been like crashed zillions of times. 10 times? Is that what we're talking about? Kevin, 10 times? Maybe, right. Maybe that's what we're talking about. It's been crashed 10 times, maybe. That Obtera. Okay, these I'm making sticks here so that I can get in here. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to put some tape. We're going to use some tape to tape these little guys back so they're not in my way. And then I'm making it so I can easily peel it off by folding the end of it over. And then I'm just going to grab that. There. Now, another sip of coffee. I forgot my usual orange juice. I usually drink orange juice and coffee. It's like breakfast time. Okay, we are ready. Where's the glue gun? I think I need to get another glue stick. Hold on. Back to... Oh, I should have turned on the workshop cam. Oh well, next time. Don't have to be that cool. That nerdy cool. Not really cool, but nerdy cool. Okay. Here we go. We're way out here. This is what I do. I just glue it on the end. And if you got it lined up right, it'll just go straight through. Sometimes if it's a little bit off, you have to like give it a little push. And then sometimes if you let a little glue squirt out the side like that, you should probably cut it off. And here we're going to cut it off. Okay, here we go. So the first thing I'm going to do is just glue this part that I've done the gap and maybe a little further here. No need back here. It's totally glued back here. So we'll go to this camera. We'll go to the Flerken cam. And then we're just going to dump some glue in here. And I'm going to squeegee it in with these things. I should have a couple more ready. Be prepared, man. Here's another one. Here, let me cut this into two more. Let's have the wastebasket ready. I'm going to squeegee it. I'm going to want it over here. Okay, here we go. We're going to do this. Push down, and I'm going to do this part and go this way. And I'm going to do this and go this way. I'm going to give it a little bit more in there. Now I'm going to squeegee, push it up, and then squeegee it out. Like that, and then I'm going to push it up. Oh, I need to push it up and squeegee it, don't I? Okay, now we're just going to hold it. I should have just worried about the holding and not the squeegeeing so much. Who cares about that? So we're just holding it for a minute. I can't switch cameras, can't do anything. I can just blabber on. ArduPilot, one just FPV, second Optera stock. AC's version, my version. What did we put on that? A 2216, same motor as this, right? No, not the same motor, because you got the version 3 Sunny Sky. So I can still see the glue moving a little bit. It did melt into the foam, which is basically what I wanted to do, but I might have to put a little bit more on the top here. I think this plan was a good plan, and I think we're gonna just, if I can see that it's the paper separated over there, I'm gonna preemptively do it. We're gonna compare the stiffness after a little bit. Anyway, yeah, ArduPilot. I want to go back. I have ArduPilot on a quad that I built, a wooden quad. I think I've brought it out once or twice for show. Anyway, I want to put it on a plane. I have like 4 or 5 Pixhawk 4s. In fact, I was going to donate one to Andy and Kevin, one each to those guys if they wanted it. Oh, I still got to hold it. I can still see it moving when I let go. That's crazy. I can still see the glue bubbles like changing shape. Yeah, Arju Pilot. I want it. Arju Pilot still runs fine on a Pixhawk 4, right? I hope it does. Because I have some older Pixhawks too that are, sorry, I can't change video or anything. I just got to stand here and hold this thing. I have some of the older Pixhawk, not Pixhawk, but the Arju, the 2.8 or whatever, 7, whatever those, the cheap clones that you used to get on Banggood for the whole kit with the GPSs and all that, and the power module, and the, I have a couple, three or 4 of those too. Okay, I think it's glued. Oh my God, it makes a huge difference, you guys. That made a huge difference. So this side is it's just a little bit. I think we should do it on this side too. So we're going to do the same surgery. Whoops, glue gun doesn't reach that far. We're going to do the same surgery over here, you guys. Let's try it out. What do you think? It's going to happen. And now this one has like foam to grip. Foam to foam gluage. Where this one is foam to tape. Maybe I should wait, because it will be much easier to repair after the flying bit tears it apart a little bit. So I need to put it through its, that's what we're going to do. We're going to put it through its paces. It's going up tomorrow. We've got plans, right, Kevin? We're flying tomorrow. 2.8.24. Robert, you are a bastion of knowledge. Like an encyclopedia. A flypopedia, because you know everything about flying. Okay, we've repaired that. Well, we're going to glue this part. Now what are we going to do about this part? Are we going to use, all right, here's what we're going to do. We'll go back to this camera. I mean, back to this side. I don't really need to have it on this stupid thing. I had it on, oh, I need it for the other side. When I flip it over, I'm going to need it. Okay, so let's do this. Let's take the tape off of here. Carefully. And let's put some glue. What we'll do is we'll put the glue, get some plastic cards. These plastic cards are good to have. I bought like a huge box of them from Amazon many years ago when I started building this stuff. Okay, so now it's even stiff because it got some glue. Let's see, are we going to need to cut this paper a little bit? Or are we just going to smash it down like that and cover? Oh, it acts like a little cover for the glue joint. Look at that. All right, let's peel it back up. And we'll put some glue on there. Just smother some hot glue on there just a little bit. And we'll push it back down. So let's just get a little bit on there. Come on. There we go. And then smush it back down with the card. Just like it was. There. Yeah. That'll work. It's not as pretty as it was, but this is a foam board airplane. Let's not forget. Let us not forget what it is. It's a foam board airplane with some overpriced with some pandemically priced flight. Well, actually, this all the equipment in here is pre-pandemically purchased, so I can't complain about the prices. But the pile of $100 flight controllers in the container off to the side there. I think I have 3 close to $100 flight controllers. Well, somewhere between $79 and $100. Okay. Those planes, those are waiting for more sophisticated twin engine planes. Maybe ArduPilot. One's at F743 or whatever that one is, that Maytech one. That'd be good for ArduPilot. I love ArduPilot because I love the telemetry screen. I loved that when I was doing the quad. I loved having the laptop. I had a table. Like I take a table out to the field. So I had this table. It's over there actually. Unfold it. You get your laptop. You got your telemetry radio Velcro to the back of the screen. I felt like it's such a nerd. I was in nerd heaven, man. I can't say it any other way except it's just okay. Let's do a pre-test on this one back here. See how it's gonna glue. Let's it's a little thick right here. There's a little bit of extra glue goopage, so let's get rid of that. Cut that out. Help the CG situation, right? And then let's use this to see if we're going to be able to push that back, or no, not really. All right, it'll be fine. It's a foam board airplane. So we'll smother this around a little bit. There, like that. And then let's push it down. There we go. Perfect. As perfect as it can be for a piece of Dollar Tree foam board with packing tape and a beautiful Sharpie painting. And you can see that my building technique, this is the wing. Maybe if I turn it this way. You can see how far off I am on this wing right here. There's like it's got to be about 3.5 millimeters right here, maybe 4. It's almost the thickness of a piece of Dollar Tree foam board. Not quite, but almost. So that doesn't seem to hamper the flying of the plane, of course. It flies fine. Okay, the next repair, since we are seemingly finished, let me just clean up a little bit more. And I'm going to use this pipe cleaner thing. I've discovered that this little guy with the little bristles and stuff, it's not only good for cleaning pipes, but it cleans out some of the glue burrs without putting the dents in it that I put in when I use a barbecue skewer. It does leave some little hairs behind sometimes, and then you have to brush those off. But it does, like, it takes off the glue globs a little bit. Pretty good. Okay, so now we have to do the bottom, and then we're going to go to the auto-tune video, and then we're going to work on the FPV combat planes. Okay, and I did edit the last week's live stream. I should just say, tangent number 2. I did, what planet are we on? Oh, I was on the wrong camera all the time. I don't know what camera I'm on. Okay. I did take the 12-minute rant out of it because I didn't want people to see me ranting about FPV combat system when it was nothing wrong with the FPV combat system. What is wrong is either, maybe there is if all remotes repeat like this one. In other words, when you send it a code, when you're pressing a button, you basically only want the code to be transmitted one time. Like if it's FFFF for that was me for 12 minutes. If it's FFFF, let's say, that's the code, then you want it just one FFFF. If it goes FFFF and then FFFF and then FFFF, it'll keep it'll keep digging into the menu, and that's where I got screwed up. And it really did screw me up because I noticed, especially after I went back and watched it, and how I discovered, I mean, it never really let me get to that top level of that second menu. It kept going into the next thing. It just kept doing it. It really did. And I, you know, I did rant, but it's not the fault of the FPV combat system. It's the fault of me and my remote control. Yeah. So here, let's go back to this view so you can see what I'm going to do, because it's a workshop video, right? We're going to fix this antenna. What did you say, Robert, about the antenna way back there? You can make that antenna flush with the foam board. It's not going to affect the signal. Right. Except there's a problem. The problem is my original idea was that it was going to be inside of here. It was going to be lower down. But then the way it ended up, it was going to be in the middle here. But when I ended up putting the video transmitter, which is on the other side of this piece of foam here, inside of here, it's on the top side, so it's in the cavity on the side of the top. That makes sense. Well, you saw me build the whole damn thing, right? So yeah. So anyway, what was I going to say? So I would need to rethink the way I had the antenna, the VTX mounted on the other side, and make it 3D printed. I could lift the 3D printed mount like with foam pieces, shims per se, but here, it's gesturing. I could lift the 3D printed mount with foam pieces. There, that's the gesturing I was doing to the camera that wasn't on. Anyway, so what we're going to do is, again, we're going to squirt some glue right here. We're just going to go with it this way. And the other thing I was thinking was, let's just kind of rock it back and forth so it kind of gets in there a little bit. And then I also want to get it. I should have peeled this whole fucking thing off. Excuse my French, but it's stupid. I wasn't thinking. Don't turn it. There. Okay. I probably should have. Now, I wanted to leave that glue on for a reason. I was going to glue it back. Okay, we're just going to make a mess like that. There we go. I'm just going to hold it here. Oh. I need to put some up here too. This glue probably does more to hurt the transmission than any foam board would. But it seems like things that are this, I mean, it's not metal, it's not grounded. So I'm just thinking, like you said, it's not going to affect the signal. Oh, that's a big, huge gap down there. So hold on. Let's get rid of all this. That's just worthless. Worthless glue. We'll put some more down there in a second. Yeah, so the antenna should have been inside. It should have been inside and not poking out like this. That was my original plan. But then when it was poking out, I went with that plan. So I went with a hole on the side. I figured out where the hole was going to go, cut it, and it worked out perfectly fine, except until I flew it and landed it, and then apparently we have these issues. So what I was thinking of doing, which I'm starting to think the more stuff I do, though, to protect the antenna, the more chance I take of messing with the signal. Like I was thinking of making a 3D printed kind of like a aerodynamic something right here. But no, I'm not going to do that. If it keeps getting clobbered, I'm going to do something else. Get a stubbier antenna, and I'll cut a panel out, and I'll change the antenna with a stubbier antenna, and then close the panel up. I'm not afraid of taking making a hatch in any of these panels here. I'll do it because they're more or less not really entirely structural. If that makes any sense. The main structure is down the middle. It's down here, and it doesn't even go back here. This back piece back here is purely a cover. It doesn't do anything else. I mean, I suppose since it's glued, maybe it helps stiffen things up a little bit, but it's not really. It could be made more structural if you built it with like the flight test style tabs like you have on the down here, for example. But so maybe those are some future modifications if we decide that it needs some structure. But the idea of that you can put hatches in here is kind of cool, I think. This is a perfect experimental platform for people who want to chuck a lot of hardware in there. That's why I put the iNav radar in here. It's like, okay, we can do that. Okay, so let's get the camera read done. Let's pay attention to what I'm doing here. We're over here, and we need to get focused. I think it's out of focus. It's way out of focus. Focus! Oh man, I can't wait to get a manually focus. I want to get one of those webcams that has a little, two little poles on it. It's like a manual lens and manual. I even think some of them have manual aperture, where you can just totally focus and zoom with a little stick right on the camera. Because right now it's out of focus and I can't get it to focus. Okay, that should be it for the glue. If it just stays there and doesn't get sucked in, we're just going to put it, and then we'll try to get it focused again. There, is that better? Oh, it was okay, I guess. Okay, now I'll try to read the chat while I'm holding this. See what you guys are saying. Oh, see you, Kevin. He left. Bye. I saw a guy in Florida flying one Ardu pilot Optera 1.2 flew right out of his hand. That's what I do on stock one now. Yeah, the stock one always flew out of your hand pretty well. It's the iNav one you have trouble with. The stock one, his original Optera stock one, what did it turn out to be now after all that crap? After all the crap over and over and over and over, it turned out to be the power module. If we just would have replaced the power module, that Optera wouldn't have had its iNav adventure. It would still be in its pure E-flight form. At least that's how I see it. You would have fixed the power module and that'd be the end of it. This glue situation on this, the glue does not stick to this lollipop. And maybe I should sand it next time, because the glue is not sticking. It's just so shiny. It just doesn't want to stick. It's got like a little gap right there, for example. Oh, let's switch back for one more sec. I can't believe how much time I'm spending on this antenna. It's a good thing I'm not here for people aren't here for entertainment. The grass is growing. Okay. I don't know what I'm doing there. That was probably, let's see, I'm going to use my finger on this hot glue in 1 second. There we go, like that. Ah, smooth it out. There, okay. I think that's it. I think we're done gluing that antenna. It's not moving. So you can see all the stress cracks, not cracks, but stress lines I guess they're half cracks. I don't know what you call them. Stress impressions in the foam. And that certainly shows that the actual panels that I say are not structural are doing a pretty good job of absorbing the impact of landing. And my landings have been soft, so impact is not even the right word, because it's not an impact, it's a glide. Okay, let's feel the wings. Yeah, I think I'm happy with my decision to let some more flights pull this paper out. That'll let me see if my theory is correct. The same thing should happen over here. It will. It's already begun. It just hasn't finished. Then this one should not. The paper should not be pulled apart here after a few flights. It should stay like this. And that will be my proof of concept. So let's quickly, if I can do anything quickly, go to the auto-tuning video. And let me see if I can talk about that. Oh no, not that. We want to go to here, this. Here we go. Okay, so does this have sound? I think we're going to want to turn the sound way down. Is it too loud? I hope it's not too loud. I'm going to turn it down a little bit more. Oh, maybe you can't even hear it. A quick tip for foam and hot glue. Keep a damp cloth, cold cloth next to you and just put it over the top of it. It won't affect the glue. Oh, interesting. Interesting. Okay, stop right there. That is the oscillation. So let's just take a look at that again. Then we'll, let's look at what did you guys say here? Let me finish that. Cold cloth next to you, and it will make the glue dry faster, and it won't melt as much of the foam. That's probably what you're, ah, interesting. So fucking smart. Excuse my French. Power supply unit had bad wire solder joint. It regulated voltage warning. Oh, it had a voltage, yeah, which caused the ESC to pulse, yeah. So we could have just resoldered the wire in the solder joint, so the power supply unit is still good except for a solder joint. Do you still have it? We should probably fix it. If it's just a solder joint, we can fix a solder joint, depending on what kind it is. Okay, back to the action here. Here we go. We're going here. Oh, I'm on the wrong damn screen. Okay, here we go. Here we go. We are at the screen that is the correct screen. Thank you. So let's go to cruise. Here we go. Look at that. Okay, so now I'm about to go into auto-tune, I think, for the... So this is not the first time I went into auto-tune. So the PIDs and the things you'll see on the screen are not the iNav default. That's after one round of doing auto-tune on, oh my God, yeah, look at that. On one round of doing auto-tune, and I don't have it on the power play, I only have it on the VTX. So it's flying better than it did already from the first time, because I've already done one round of auto-tune. But here we go. You can see the roll rate on that sucker is pretty fast. And it's pretty, it's not totally locked in when I stop the sticks, but it's pretty close. It doesn't, it's hard to tell on this video. What I really need is, but on the pitch, it's horrible. The pitch is just not the same. And you can see the feed forward on the pitch. Look at that, hundreds, oh, it's going down now. So it thinks I need less feed forward. Now it bumped it back up to 107. Now I'm doing the roll again. Okay, see the roll, I should have done more rolls and seen how it locked. Now you can see what I'm watching though. Okay, thank you for telling me that. I wasn't paying attention. And so, okay, so now the feed forward's up to 9. Okay, there's a little bit bounce on the end of that roll, right? A little tiny bit of bounce. Okay, so now I turn it back off, and then what do? I fly around for a little bit more and I turn it back on. And I think what I try here, I hope, is putting it in cruise mode while it's in auto tune. Should I do that? That's the question. How do I get auto tune to help me tune out the oscillations that are in the navigation altitude hold modes? So maybe I should try to find it instead of watching me fly. Let's go back. Forward. Let's hope I can find it. Oh, no, where's the other auto tune? There's 2. Oh, it's at 425. There it is. Okay, 425. Let's go back a little bit more. There we go. Okay, we're about to go back into auto tune again for the second time. There's people down there. I just realized that and I'm like, oh shit. I usually fly over that. That's like a good place to fly where I know no matter what I'm not going to crash into any person. Okay, so you can see now the pitch. I wish I would have seen how it locked a little bit better. How it stopped from those roll rates. I didn't put the roll rates on the screen. That's another thing I have to fix. Oh, no, they are there. 120, 380 roll rate, 380 degrees. Man, did you see that up here? That's up in the upper. Okay, left hold it for 1 second. Go right, hold it for 1 second. Go left, hold it for 1 second. Go right, hold it for 1 second. And try not to mix your up and down with your left and right. Same with up and down. 1 second, up, 1 second. You don't have to bank it so hard either, and you'll notice the pitch oscillation that might change. Okay, so did I put it in? Okay, I'll try to. I wanted to have, okay, did I ever go into cruise mode? Hold on, sorry, I'm going to back it up a little bit. Before the motor goes down like that. Did I go into cruise mode in this one? No, I didn't. So, in one of these, it's probably the Fat Shark one. The one I only have on Fat Shark. So the Fat Shark's always recording, because I'm in the goggles, obviously. But the DVR, the power play here, I have to remember to turn it on. And sometimes, most of the time I do, but sometimes I don't. Okay, so same with up and down, bank so hard either. Okay, so I wonder if I go back into cruise mode at all here and do the pitch, because I think it starts to, it gets less over time. Oh, no, here's a landing. Let's just see this is my worst landing of this plane. This is the worst one so far. And it's not that bad. So let's check it out. Let's have some critique of my terrible landing, but it's not that bad. So, oh, and I want to do something. I want to show you something. And I don't know if it's probably me and my flying, but I can't wait. I got to get the black box log off and do overlays and stuff. But watch what happens when I let off the throttle. Oh shit, I put it back too far. Okay. So here we go. We're at 30%. And I'm bringing it down. Throttle's at 26. I'm bringing it down. I'm bringing it down. I'm bringing it down. And then I cut it off. Oh, wait. Give it a little bit more to get on. Don't think I'm going to make it. And then I cut it off. And then watch it bobble. Up. Down. Maybe you can't see it as much from this one. So that wasn't a terrible landing. It wasn't a nice glide like some of them, but anyway. Okay, so that's auto tune on that one. the 2 attempts at autotune on my, that's basically the 3rd or 4th flight of the Flerken altogether. And let's just look quickly at the stats here. Pause for a second. Oh, I hope I hope there's going to be efficiency. 100 milliamp hours per kilometer. That's not bad. That is my #1 most efficient home flight test built plane. That is it right there. You're looking at the best number I've ever gotten. Right there. I'm gonna frame that. Let's take a screenshot of that sucker. 100 milliamps. The Arrow is like 3 times that much. It's 3 times less efficient. Okay. We'll leave it at that. Okay, so that's it for the Flerken, right? We're done. We're done talking about the Flerken. I know the Flerken is like occupied this live stream so much. I just can't believe it. And one of these days I'm going to release an actual video about the Flerken that's going to make sense and not be so shitty. Like a live stream with all my ranting and raving, and it takes 13 hours to wire a GPS. Okay, so let's go back to our mess over here, because we have a whole another hour to go, and I want to get an hour's worth of work done because it's desperately needed. So desperately needed, folks. So what do we have here? We have the total. I think I might have to take one short break and run up and get an orange juice though, because I am so thirsty and I can't just suck down this coffee. And then I'm going to read your thing here, because I find what you say to be rather informative. Yes, okay. So I'm going to look at Mark Hoffman's tuning video, Robert, also, and see what he does with the sticks. I'm very interested in, I think what he said is that you should fly it like you fly normally. And sometimes I do the flippity floppities, but I didn't do any loops. Did you notice that? I didn't do any loops. So pitch 1 second, right? That wouldn't be a whole loop, would it? If that plane did, oh, I should have paid attention to what the pitch rate was. What was it? It was 120, wasn't it? It was 120. There were manual pitch rate and, okay, I got to look back. I'll have to review the video. I'll have to, and I'm also going to get the black box log. I'm also looking at the dashware. It was Caroline Tyler, said dashware on one of her comments. That was that, I think. It was like, that is a great program. I mean, it's hard to use, sort of, but I'm getting there. Been playing with it. Okay, let me read what you said. Sorry. I know we're over there, and I'm looking over here. Sorry, that's the way it is for now. And your pitch oscillation might be, you're just a touch tail heavy. So you're saying the pitch and then when you let off the throttle, it pretty much says you're tail heavy. Did you see what I saw, though? Did you see that? Did it bobble when I let off the throttle? I don't think it was as pronounced on that video as it was on some of the other videos. And when you look at the HD video, it's the landing before that. And I did a nice flare. I did get the bobble out before I landed. On the landing before that, it was like, that was the worst Flerken landing. The landing before that was the best Flerken landing, probably, or close to the best. Because even though I let off the throttle right over that cliff, same place, and it bobbled, I was able to unbobble it and flare it, and it was a nice, and it didn't, you know, what happened there on this landing is the wind was a crosswind, so it was coming from the right, and as soon as it hit the ground, it did turn to the right into the wind. And in the previous landing, I also had a crosswind, but it wasn't as bad. It was like probably a lull in the wind, and it flared beautifully. For me, a flare was a real flare and not a stall, and it stayed straight as it hit the grass. So that was good. That was like those were the landings. I'm like, yes. And so the bobble, maybe I need to fly it in manual mode to see if it's tail heavy. I mean, that's the answer. That's the ultimate answer. Because although it's telling me, I agree with you, it's telling me it's tail heavy, a bobble like that. It just doesn't seem like it's tail heavy. Like the way it launches and everything. It's just, you can see in the HD video, you can see the amount of deflection it's doing to get it to fly up at its 22 to 25 degree angle, whatever it's flying up at, and it seems fine. I mean, it seems like a small amount of deflection. It doesn't seem like it's whacking out the elevons to get it to pitch up that much. I don't know. And the other thing is I put the exact amount of reflex that the Bixler says to do, and I did the CG at the exact CG point. Now, it's not exactly the same as the Flerken because I don't have the slots in the back, the vents, and I do have the HD cameras on the top. So I was thinking maybe that throws off where the CG should be. It throws off because there's a, I don't know. Okay. Not a lawn dart, yeah. Flared on its own. Easiest way to tell if it's tail heavy or nose heavy is to invert it and see if its nose goes up or down. Oh my God, now you're talking scary stuff. You're telling me to invert my plane. See, now you're asking me to become a real pilot. Yes, right. Okay, I think what we got to do is think about this thing. I got to look at my plan here. Let's go back to FPV Combat. We got to do FPV Combat, and I might run up to get an OJ in 1 second. I got to decide, but do I have everything hooked up? Because I want to determine if I have another UART. I don't think I have another UART to put. I'm such an idiot. I want to put these HC12 modules. Oh, I'm in the wrong camera. I want to put these HC12 modules on our planes. I bought them. I think I bought enough for everybody. There's another bag in each plane box. I have an extra one. I bought enough for everybody plus an extra one. And that's not going to work. Shit. Because there's not enough oh, wait, does it plug into... It doesn't have to go to the flight controller. Wait a minute. It goes to the FPV combat system. Oh, wait a minute. Let's look at the documentation. FPV combat. Back to center screen here in 1 sec. Wish I had an FPV combat window. Okay, so where's the FPV combat tab? FPV combat store. Frequently asked questions. There we go. Okay. Whoops, I just killed the window. That was brilliant. You don't need a UART. Oh, that's the wrong window. Oh, guys. I can't get it together, and I'm an IT guy. There it is. Now, let's get this other window minimized and this window maximized, and then switch the screens to Desktop Center. There, I actually pressed the wrong right buttons. Now, let's go to where Robert is talking about. Let's see if I can get to documentation. Documentation. I had the documentation. Oh, it's on the laptop, which is not here because it's actually, oh, maybe it's here. I think I brought it back from work. I had to take it to work today because my other laptop, I have several laptops. I am an IT guy and I get other people's hand-me-down laptops. So I just, if nobody wants the laptop, because everybody wants fast. Well, I'm willing to live with not as fast. Okay, user guide. Here we go. This is what we want. Where is it? Oh, it's a PDF. Oh dear. Come on. Can I just... Okay, how do I get it? I looked at it before. Down. I'm always leery of a big giant download button like this. I'm always thinking, oh, it's not a download button. It's an ad. It's an ad for some scammerware. But no, they're not doing that on this website. How dare I insinuate that? How dare I? Okay, here we go. Acrobat. We've got it open. Sensors, guns. Let's see if they have something about the radio. Capture the flag. No, they don't. Let's look at the diagram and then I'll read what you're saying. I'm not very good at multitasking. Look at how big and beautiful that is. Video in, cam. Don't use. Video out. Oh no, don't use the power. I did not use that power button cable. Okay. How do you connect the... Here we go. Here we go. The pinout on this connector perfectly matches the pinout on the HC. What? Installing these modules will let you add live feedback. Okay, I must have missed something in the diagram. I'm sure you're screaming somebody. It gets wired directly to the combat board. Directly to the combat board. IR sensor out. Must be this. YP. No, those are the addressable LEDs. Feedback in, ground in, guns, IR sensor, PWM, voltage monitor, video. Oh, 433. There it is. The last thing I look at. It's the last place I looked. So it is a UART. It's just on this board. Okay, let's do it. We're going to build this sucker. So we got to figure out. Let's go back to here. Now, this is a mess. We're going to just go through this whole mess. Going back to the pod. I'm sorry, but this is what we're doing on the workshop. It's a workshop. I promise this is what I would do, and I'm living up to my promise. Okay, so the UART is right there. It is right. I have to get the orientation of this camera fixed so I can see what I'm doing. Okay, the UART is right there. And this is the front of the plane, and this is obviously the rear of the plane. Servos, gun, it's going to go over to here, over the hill and through the woods. Camera's going to go out the back over there. Let's get that out of the way. This is the rear camera. So you can see enemies approaching. Then the VTX is going to go over here, like so. Blink! The GPS is going to go onto the right wing Let me see what wing I put it on this Arrow. On this Arrow, I put it, wow, I did such a good job, I don't know where it is. I've hidden it too well. On that one doesn't have GPS. That's hilarious. I hid the GPS so well I can't see it. But it's going to go under the wing on the right side, pretty sure. Away from the VTX. Then this radio is going to go way off to the left wing. Okay? So now, where are we going to put this module? I think we should put the module. And then this light beam, this is going to go in the back. So let's put the module as far back in this corner over here as we can. Oh, 433 megahertz. What is that going to mess with? I think we should probably plan on putting it all the way out on the wing on the other side. So we need to make some wiring harness. Let's get a wing. The wing will be this wing. Which wing? Holy shit, are both these wings the same? No, it's this wing. Okay, so we'll see how long it's going to be. There's a wing. So this is how it's going to go on the plane. So the GPS will be up here, basically right in here. So we're going to, this is going to go all the way out here. All the way over here. And then the antenna, this is the crappiest antenna. These little spring things, I can't believe that's going to be good, but we're gonna go with it. It does have a UFL. If I really wanted to, I should get my act together and order some. I should see if there's any on Amazon I can get really quick that are halfway decent. But it does have a UFL connector. And I imagine if I solder this on now, I'm going to trash that UFL connector. Maybe not. No, we can solder it on, I think, and then it doesn't even have like a ground plane or anything, right? It's just a... That can't work, right? That can work? I mean, it's just a dissipation of energy. It's not really an antenna. I don't know. I guess I don't know enough about radio frequency. Okay, let's put this back in the bag and just get our cable out. So we're going to get 4 cables, 4 wires. We're going to use, I think we should use 28 gauge. That's kind of a nice balance between weight and current capability. Because we're going a longer distance. If we used 30, I just thought maybe that would be too short. So 433 doesn't mess with anything. Excellent! God, that's great news, Robert. Okay, not to the GPS. We're going all the way down the wing, through this hole, across the insides there, probably in front of between the flight controller and the spar. So we got to go to here, and then we got to go between the flight controller and the spar along the front. Then we got to go through that hole. Then we got to go down there. So we're going to make it that long. And then we're going to measure it and write it down in our log. So there we go. We're going to do it again because I didn't have them level, even. go that long. We'll get blue and white. Since it's a radio, I like to use usually blue and white, except for the GPS is green and white. Okay. We'll use the same length. Oh dear, did we not get this the same length? Oh, switching to the wrong thing. Switching error. Hi folks, we're out here in an Express LRS uses the spring style of antenna also for 915. Oh yeah, and is it what? It's probably a little spiral like that inside the ceramic antenna that Express LRS uses too, isn't it? It's probably just like a spiral trace inside there, I would imagine. Not really a spiral since it's kind of like a cube, a cubiral, whatever. Let's make up some words. There's probably a word for that in mathematics. Spiraling up the inside of a cube. That's probably a something. My daughter would know. Math nerds know stuff like that. Okay, they're not exactly even. We'll go to the longest one. Okay, and we'll measure this. And we'll put it in the log. So I know what to cut for the next ones. Okay. Just take one, and it's going to measure approximately. Give me the thing. Approximately. We'll say 600 millimeters, 595 millimeters. And the log sheet is partially here. Oh no, the rest of the log sheet isn't here. I'll find it. Don't you worry. Okay, and my pen, I'll find that. Don't you worry, it's right over here. And we have the 433 megahertz radio. 3MHZ is 595 millimeters wire. And we use red, blue, black, and white. Okay, log noted. Put it back in the project box. Okay, so let's get the soldering iron fired up. First thing I have to do is change the tip. 9:30. I got a half an hour to go. I don't think I can do that without a glass of orange juice. We're going to take a 60-second break. 60-second break. And we'll go to a different video. That one. Okay, I made it back in just about 1 minute, I think. Yeah. Okay, and I've got a glass of orange juice. Lovely. It's so funny that another tangent number 3. I have a little heater bunny down here, and I'm usually cold down here. It is the basement, and it was been summer, air conditioning's running, blah blah blah. And so wasted of energy, yes, I'm terrible, global warming, I know, but burning the midnight oil with this thing on. But when I do a live stream, even though I'm doing the same thing down here, it's like a tinkering or whatever, I'm like hot. Not hot, like hot. I mean, like I'm sweaty hot. So it's like, yeah, it's weird. Heater is not on either, of course. Okay, tangent over. Soldering iron. We need to get our work area situated, so let's do that. Let us do the proper soldering tip, which I'm going to put on the small chisel tip that I usually use, which is the, I think that's a 3mm. It's a 3mm Hacko chisel tip, and the Hacko 888D, the best cheap-ass hobbyist home soldering iron that you can get, I think. And why did I buy it? I bought it. I wanted the kind with the dial. The old, before the 888D, there was the 888, and the 888 had a dial. The D is for digital. Well, the dial, you can just dial it in and change it anyway. I listened to Bruce Simpson, and he had one of these, but with the dial. And boy, I wanted that one with the dial. But it was because of Bruce Simpson, Sir Bruce, that I bought the Hacko, and I am not sorry. The man gives great advice, just like you, Robert. Just like you. Okay, so we're going to clean up our workspace a little bit. Put the wing back in the pile of wings over here. Put the cable off to the side. Put this off to the side a little bit. So we're going to make the solder connections. Then we'll do the twisty thing. Then we'll put the pin connectors on the other end. And we will see if it works. So we need our board. So little that I got done. I'm so sorry. That's just like, I'm learning. What is this? The 6th one? Is this the 6th workshop live stream I've done? Like a scheduled, pre-scheduled, barely pre-scheduled Wednesday live stream. Look at how bad oh, there. I want to go over here. I have got to, okay, do it like this. See, it's opposite. I wanted this to be like from my point of view. But it is what it is. So that's what we're going to see, that right there. Okay, so we're going to solder this. Turn on the soldering iron and get some water. And read the chat. Chat says, Robert says, 9:15, and oh yeah, 433 is going to give good range. More farther than, you're right, we're not going to be that far apart from each other. We're going to be flying together mostly, and there's a board on the screen. We're going to be flying next to each other, hopefully, because we're going to be trying to shoot each other. Now, if we go back to that, the last time I was messing with this, the lights were setting off the IR sensor. So there might be some issues there. But the issues are, I'm sure, not with the FPV combat system itself, but with something I'm doing. So we're not going to worry about that right now. We need to get this straightened out. So let's get this on a little pad. And let's get a close-up look at this thing. And I'm sure I'm going to be able to see which pins are which, right? Let's look. So what we have here is a plus, a plus, a plus, a plus, and a plus. That can't be right. Here we have information. So it's the backwards for you guys. There's the information. It's an HC12 module, and we have to do the TX, the RX, the ground, and the power. And this other one, the set, we're not going to be using that pin. Okay, so let me just get my pen again. Oh no, I've lost it. There it is. And let's get this right. We're going to do the top. The top is, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pins there. It's the bottom one. We're going to go from the bottom up. The bottom one is voltage, so that's plus. And then the next one is TX. Then the next one is ground, excuse me. Then the next one up from ground is RX. And the next one up from RX obviously is TX and then set. So we're not going to use set, but we're going to go TX, RX, ground, and VCC, right? Sorry that it's backwards for you guys, but that's what it is. And this camera angle is throwing me off too. Okay, let's get it to where I'm going to solder and then move the camera so that it actually points at what I'm trying to do. Oh my God. I've got to get better at doing that too. Okay. So this is one where I'm going to want to stick the wires through. And let's think about how we're going to do it. This is the top. And I'm going to be gluing it to the bottom of the wing. So I want to go in from the top with the wires. And then the other thing I want to do is realize which one do I want to be blue and which one do I want to be white? Because I want to use the same RX TX type thing. Not really, I don't care. We're going to do blue for RX and white for TX. So we're going to strip off the white. We're actually going to do some work finally here. I'm going to get our tools. See, we need these tools to start off with. Let's see if we're going to get 20 minutes. We're going to see how far we get. We're going to get this whole one wiring harness built. That's about the pace I go. It's a good thing I don't work in a factory in some overseas country somewhere. I'd probably be dead because I'd be starved to death. So we're going to split this, strip this. Not so much, just a little wee bit. And probably one of the reasons I take so long is I do one thing at a time. One wire, I tin that wire, then I stick that wire through, then I solder that wire. Andy RC, he does all the wires first. He'll line them all up. Then he'll get them all through. Okay, so we're going that hole. And we're going to flip it over. TX. And we're going to solder that. Can you even see? I don't even think you can see what I'm doing. I hope you can. What's the point of this if you can't see, right? I need to change. Oh my gosh, you guys, I need to hopefully not get, oh, there's no way I can get my head in the way with this setup. That's excellent. Just get everything else in the way. The camera's in the way of my head in this setup. Okay, here we go. That looks good. Just a second will do you. Just like the auto-tune. Okay, the next one is going to be the red. Doesn't speed things up that I have to change my glasses 20 times to get this done. 26. We're using the 26 slot to strip our little easy to strip wire. This one's going to go in the RX. Oh, we have to tin this. Let's tin this. Whoops. Step 1, tin the wire. Tin the wire. Step 2, solder the wire. It's a little messy over here. You know how I hate when it's messy when I'm trying to solder. Am I on the screen? I don't even know. With these glasses on, I can't see the monitor. I can just see where the monitor is. I guess I'm on the screen. This big white piece helps me figure it out. There, that's more towards the center. That way a little bit more. There, that's right in the center of the screen. Look at that. Okay, now we'll stick this through. Like so. You know, I'm getting the hankering to build another quad, or to fix my quads, or fly quads. Getting the hankering every once in a while. I'm like, gosh, I haven't flown a quad in 6 months, 8 months, a year. Okay, next is black. Black wire. We will strip it. One of the things I babble on sometimes just about this live stream itself, and I try to plan on time to prepare for it, and yet this is like the 6th one, and I haven't done the proper preparation. Like, I know it, I had a plan and I followed it, so I guess that's okay. But like, I didn't have the videos queued up, I didn't have the, and I'm not going to be putting a link on Facebook. There's so many until I have some like videos edited besides just live streams. That's what I've decided. Once I get some videos edited, I might start trying to say, okay, people, come watch this if you dare, if you want to watch grass grow, and maybe 2 more people will come. But I like to get input. That's part of the, it's not like I'm doing this for you guys. I'm selfish. I said that from the very beginning. I like the interaction. I think that Robert has always got good ideas, handy tips, experience that I don't have, and I'm gaining slowly. But I don't think I tinned that wire first. I can't remember. I don't think I did. Oh well, it worked out fine. Still in the center of the screen. That's good. But I did think about it, and I kind of wanted to do a community post, like a Flerken, something about the Flerken. And I can't because I don't have 500. You got to have 500 subscribers to do a community post. So it's not like I think I'm going to get 500 subscribers ever. I'm not. Not the way I don't do like John and RC Video Reviews who builds community and all that. I don't do that. I barely keep up. I don't even do the comments right. I reply sometimes, and then sometimes I just forget for like 6 months. That's not good. Okay, we've got all these soldered on, and they're all beautiful. Because it's easy to solder this. This is easy. Now we can take our little clippers and clip these guys off. Like so. Then let's do our twisty thing. That's another boring thing to watch. I gotta have better content too. Like more interesting stuff, which I've got some ideas for future things, but I am committed to. There's a bag of poor airplane back there that needs to be, that's going to be probably a more interesting live stream than this would ever be, because it involves a crash. But this has got to be done. I'm committed to getting these 3 planes done. So I got it. This is 1 of 3. I got to do 2 more of these, which we'll do off stream. I'll do all the secondary ones and the tertiary. Tertiary? What's 3? Tertiary. That seems like it's 10. Okay, so we're going to twist this up. Then we are going to measure it on the wing. And then by then, we'll put the connectors on. And then we'll end the live stream. And I should do it over the blue dot. It's like landing at Oshkosh. Blue dot? Oh, it's not. There's no blue dot at Oshkosh. It's a green dot, orange dot, yellow dot, I think. Okay, what do we got? I'm putting a 1x1 inch OLED on my two iNav planes while watching you. Oh, okay. I had an LED. I used to put the OLEDs on there. That's fun because you get the readout. You can see without putting on your goggles, and it's nerdy. And that is cool that you're working on your things, while I'm working on mine. That's kind of what I had envisioned also for this, is that people would come, people that work on planes like us. I know Caroline Tyler can never join the stream because it's like 3 o'clock in the morning there or something. Notice how untwisty this becomes. This is what Andy was talking about. And then you get all this mess. I got to untangle this before I get much further. I'm trying to twist the power lines separate from the RX and TX lines. Okay, let's get this twisted again. Let's just see. Let's start from the beginning. You see what happens there? It starts untwisting. See that? And then it starts untwisting all the way. You just got to work. I keep working my way down thinking I'm doing it right. And I'm not. So, yes, excellent. That's kind of cool, Robert. I like that. So, and I got to keep talking, right? That's another thing I got to learn to do, is kind of just try to maybe keep talking. Keep talking. What are we doing? We're twisting. We're talking about 433 megahertz radios. I wish I could do like voice commands to my AI. I hate AI, but my non-existent AI system, like Alexa. I don't have Alexa or anything like that. I don't like the idea of having that kind of shit in my house. I don't, even though I have Gmail and all that, you know, Google is watching everything. I don't need to put cameras in and listening devices for them. They already have my phones and everything else, you know. They already know everything you browse, everything you search for, everything you watch, everything you stream. They've got analytics on all of us. Each of us probably has like somewhere there's a database of we're all associated with some UUID somewhere. I'm not saying there's some all-encompassing system that's got, you know, but all these systems together, when you combine them, which they're not combined totally, but oh, look at that, I got some twisty in there, and I was twisting off camera this whole time because I wasn't thinking. I was looking at all the previous chats to make sure I didn't miss anything. Okay, so they're all twisted up. So now we got to measure it on the wing. So let's get back to this camera real quick. And this big mess, let's get this ESC inside of there. So the plane is basically kind of collected as it would be, except the receiver. And now we can stick the wing back on this side. No, wrong wing, folks. Like C-3PO with a backwards head. Okay. So, here you can sort of see the whole wing layout if I press this button right here. And if we go here, let's say we're going to put it right about there. That puts it pretty far off. No, I didn't make it long enough. It's not going to be that far off. It's not going to be that far out. It's got to go. It's got to go through the spar too. I'm going to have to make a notch for the spar. I hate doing that. And then it's going to go into, oh, it is, well, okay. It doesn't have to go to the very tippy tip of the wing. There's actually not a whole lot of room down out there anyway. I think that'll be perfectly fine. So now what we'll do is we will cut these closely to the right. See, the black one is the shortest. So we'll cut them all to the black one's length there. And then we'll put this away, the wing away again. It's already got enough. The wing that has, there's a couple dents in one wing because I dropped something off a shelf. That wing is going to be mine on the 3-plane build. I'm going to get the things with the worst dents, at least initially. Okay. I moved the camera again, so now the blue dot isn't in the middle. There we go. That'll be my guide. Okay. I'm glad you said that too, Robert. I have this idea. It's not a drill. It's a wire twisty machine. And I want to have an Arduino and a brushless gimbal motor so that I can control the speed at a nice speed. And then have a little, either a foot switch. I have some foot switches. Okay. They're staring at a blue dot. I have some foot switches. I've got to get I have got to switch this out. They put these tabs on the drawer so they don't fly out, but you have to pinch it every time. Okay, we need a 4-pin connector. And we're starting to run low on those. There it is. I have 3 left. I have 3 4-pin connectors left. I have 2 4-pin connectors left. And I have no budget anymore for I have so much stuff. I guess I'm going to have a budget for some miscellaneous incidentals like this. But I cannot buy any more airplanes. I don't even build them. I build flight test planes all the time. The only planes I build that are real planes they get flown 3 times and then they crash. AR Wing Pro, crash. A Ranger 2000, crash. Okay, I haven't crashed the Tundra yet. I haven't crashed it because I hardly ever fly it because I'm afraid to fly it because I'm afraid to crash it. How stupid is that? That's stupid. That's just stupid. Oh, I didn't get the connectors out. Didn't get the connectors out. They're back here. Hope I can get them out, find them without popping the drawer out again. Okay. There they are. Come on. No. Where are you? There you are. So I can't buy any more planes. I'm taking the family on vacation next year, the 4th of July, and I got to save for that. I do not have disposable income for all these planes that I keep buying. So I'm only going to try to, I'm going to limit myself to purchasing a few miscellaneous things that I need to complete some of these builds. But I have motors. I probably need a lot of ESCs. That's a problem. I hardly have any ESCs. Okay, well, let's switch to cameras now. I hardly have any ESCs, but I do have some more 20-16 Sunny Sky motors. I do have lots of props. I have flight controllers. I have GPS units. I have, where's the pinchers? I have I need more cameras too, of course. Always need cameras. Always need cameras. That's been a lifelong obsession with me, cameras. And yet I hardly have any. I have zillions of photographs, but I've never done anything like legitimately interesting with them, except for maybe a few YouTube videos, like the spear video that got like over 1,000 views. That's big to me. Viral, man. 1,000 views. Holy shit. Okay, here we go. I stripped both wires, and I see why I don't do that ahead of time now. Here we go over the blue dot. See how slow I do it? I do it so slow. That's probably part of the reason it takes me 10 hours to make a wiring harness, because it's already past time, and I'm not even done. So what was I saying? Babbling on about many things, I'm sure. But I have had a lifelong obsession with cameras since I was little. My dad had an obsession with cameras, and just like me, he was worse than me, because I've actually produced way more shit with my cameras. But he obsessed over the cameras, and he bought a bunch of stuff, and he took a bunch of pictures. But yet he never, he did make a video slideshow once. Okay, so now let's look at the, quickly, let me look at this thing right here. So it's going to be 5 volts, then ground. 5 volts, then ground. So we want this to go in like this. So the 5 volts is going to be on this edge. And it goes in until it clicks. And we don't hear the click, so we take our little SIM card dealy bob and push it in until it clicks. Then I try to do one more last twist. Let's get it in there. Push it in with our SIM card. There was a nice positive click. So there are our first two. Yeah, I want to get some more, put LEDs back on my planes again. I used to do that too. I have the arrow, the first arrow on the very back wall. Wait. Oh, you can't see it from that view, but it's back there, trust me. It's screwed to the wall. It's a piece of artwork now. My wall is decorated with the husks of a couple dead flight test planes back there. Oh, back to this camera. See, obsession with cameras. Look how many cameras I have hooked up to this live stream. I have this camera. I have the HD camera over there. I have the webcam on the computer in front of me. I have the VTX, which isn't a camera, but it is a camera because it's a VTX. It's an input from another camera on a mobile craft. I have these run cam thumbs. I put 3 of them on the frickin' Flerken. Three HD cameras. Why? I had an obsession with the camera switcher on that plane. I wanted a 3-camera switcher. I wanted 3 cameras on there no matter what. Because I am obsessed with cameras. And then I look at the footage, probably like my old man did. I just stare at it. He probably just, back then he had film. He had emulsion on top of a substrate in a physical medium. And he had to get it developed. And he built a dark room and blah, 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 blah. Obsession, obsession, obsession. That's where it came from. That's where it came from. My friend Matt, when I was growing up, my best friend, he was a camera guy. He went to photography school. He went to Europe just to take pictures with his girlfriend. They went back, well, not just to take pictures, but in front of the blue dot, dude. Anyway, cameras are an obsession, and aircrafts are an obsession, which also came from my dad. Isn't that crazy? Okay, so now we got to get the RX and the TX right. So let's make sure we don't screw this up. Even though we could easily switch it. Let's not have to do that. So the TX is white, and that needs to go to the RX on this. And so that goes to the end. The white goes to the end, and the blue goes to the middle. The blue goes to the middle. And the white goes to the end, and we're going to get that. We're going to get these twisted around and stick them both in at the same time, like so. And we are almost done. I'm going to start to say we're almost done for today's live stream. Wow, Robert, you made it through another one. You are amazing. That's I can't believe. There we go. There's the end. Let's see if it plugs in, and let's see if it lines up. So we got, let's just verify. The TX is white, and the RX is blue. And the power wires are obvious, and they are correct. So, on this one, we look down, and we see on the FPV combat board, which is out of camera, we see 5 volts first, which is the red on this finger here. Then the next one is black, which is ground. Then the next one is blue, which is TX. And that's coming from the blue RX pad of the radio, and then white is RX, and that's coming from the TX pad of the radio. So this should be correct. Now, I do not want to plug it in till I do the antenna. And I'm not going to solder this antenna until I look at my other UFL antenna options. Although, now, I also don't want to solder the antenna. Oh, let me ask you this, Robert, if you're still here. That 433 could be half the distance and still not affect anything. My 433 megahertz telemetry module is right next to my flight controller, no problems, at 14 miles out. And are you saying you get a signal from one of those springy thingies from 14 miles out, or do you have a better antenna? That's my first question. My second question is, since you are experienced with this, and boy do I appreciate it, thank you, can I, this is going to be laying flat on the wing. Am I in camera? Yes. Flat on the wing. Can I put the antenna out sideways? Or is that just going to be crappy signal? It should be vertical, right? I mean, the plane isn't always going to be vertical, of course, but it's supposed to be like that, right? Question is, can I put it like that? I'll solder it through the hole and then bend it at the base, not at the springy part. What do you think? I will wait and see if you answer for a few more minutes while I put these things away and clean up. So, and say that we are now officially complete with all. No, we're not. Oh my God. We are not complete with all the electrical wiring because I haven't done. Oh my God, you guys. I still have to solder the power wires to the ESC. I did the XT60 to the battery, but not the power wires to the ESC. Oh my God. Okay. Next week, power wires on this, and if I have somehow some miracle where I have more time to work, the other two need to be put together. I need to do the other wiring harness since I've already done a bunch of wiring harnesses for the other two. So that's it. And now what do I have for your answer? Antenna direction at that range won't affect at any angle. Oh, you're just joining us, North 49? We're just leaving. We're done. We're done. Hi, Chris. That's right. Your name is Chris, and I knew that because Robert taught me that your name is Chris. He knows everybody, don't you, Robert? John, Chris, Arthur. That's me, by the way, of course. So, hi, you guys. Bye, you guys. It's past 10 o'clock, and I can't do any more work because got to get ready to do some other things, one more thing tonight, and then I'm done for the day. So next week, flying tomorrow. Maybe I'm going to try some more tuning. Maybe I'll have some better information about my tuning experience. Robert, I'm going to try to follow your advice on the seconds. 1 second, 1 second, 1 second, 1 second. Now, how many repetitions should I do of that? Like a blister, I show up after the work is done. Yeah. So how many repetitions? That's my question before you leave, Robert. If you're still here, please. Begging to answer the question, no. Seriously. What do you think? Do I do that like 5 times? Do I do like left 1 second, right 1 second, left 1 second, right 1 second? Do I like do that 5 times? So 10 of those, 10 things. Or do I... Night, y'all. Night, Kevin. Good night. It is time to go to night-night. for me. It's been a long day, but I'm not going night-night quite yet. Night-night. I used to say that to my kids. Okay. 8 each, right. Don't do a full roll. Don't do a full, yeah, for auto-tuning. For auto-tuning. Don't do a full roll. Okay, so 8. So I do each one 8. So it's like right 8, or like right 1 second, left 1 second, right 1 second, left 1 second. Do I do the left and the left 1 second 8 times and the right 1 second 8 times? So it's like 16 total movements. Yes. Oh, that's the answer to the auto-tuning question. So 8 or 16? 16 total movements or 8 total movements on the roll, and then 8 total movements or 16 total movements on the pitch. And then you're done. And then my question is, another question. Boy, we're running long because I'm going to ask you the questions. See, this is not about me teaching. This is about me learning. Selfish bastard. Do you, because like this is my first auto tune. This is the first plane I've ever tuned. That's it. This is it. This is the real thing. And it's, I know 5.1 is more, it's more like serious so than the previous version. So you need to tune it more. It's not as good out of the box, I guess you'd say. Almost as just tuning fast, land it and save it. And I did do that. I didn't show that in my video, but I did land and save every time. I did the stick commands to save it after I landed, before I rebooted. Yes, I did do that. So the PIDs that are on here now are, and the feed forward and the calculated roll and pitch rates are from the auto-tune routine that I've now run a total of 4 iterations of. And you saw just me doing 1 or 2 of them earlier. And they weren't long enough, and they weren't enough repetitions, now I know. So, the more the merrier. Gotcha. Okay. Okay, so North 49, sorry to miss you. I used to do the streams later, but I decided to stopping at 11 o'clock was probably too late. I mean, I'm sure sometimes we'll get into some projects like this one where I want to keep working. And now I've kept blabbing for 16 extra minutes. So, but yeah, I will continue to do this. We'll be here next week if all goes well. And we're going flying tomorrow. More tuning sessions. So hopefully we'll see if the wing holds out, my wing gluing job. And we'll see all those things. So thanks for watching. And Robert, thanks for all your help as always. I do really appreciate it. So seriously, good night, everybody. Sorry you missed it too, North 49. Chris, good night.